and welcome to Shop Franklin Supporting Small Business, where we will be talking about how we can support, raise awareness of, and create community around Franklin's local, independently owned businesses. My name is Sarah Mabardi. With us today, we have Mark Lenzi, owner of Franklin Liquors.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
So you know everything about wine?
No.
Everything.
No. Try.
Everything.
Try.
Everything. Everything.
Try.
I've actually had the honor of attending one of your wine tastings.
Yes.
So, beyond knowing everything about wine, everything, where did Franklin Liquors come from? How did it begin?
Great history, part of town. My dad and mom in 1978 purchased Jimmy's penny candy, tobacco, and liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you will never see again.
Wait. Penny candy?
Penny candy,
tobacco,
with the soda fountain, and then cigars, cigarettes, and then through the door was the liquor. But, growing up in town as a kid, go to Davis Thayer School, you'd walk, you get your penny candy. You never notice the alcohol. Now you never notice the candy. You're at this age, you'll notice the alcohol. But it was a staple in the town growing up as a kid to get your penny candy. I always search for pictures in the town to get people in the soda fountain and things like that, but I can never find anything inside. The interesting thing about it was, I guess soldiers, when they went to war and came back from war, had their picture taken in front of the store coming off the train. So there are a few pictures of soldiers in front of the store, but you can't see the actual store. So yeah, it's a very good history.
And it wasn't located where it is now. So
No,
right now, Franklin Liquors is on East Central, a little outside downtown. So it's my understanding that
located right in the center of town. There's a little bridge. Everybody's familiar. This is an older picture,
Okay.
I think from the 40s or 50s. You're looking from, say, the bridge, looking south on 140. The Rome restaurant would be directly across the street if you're at the front of the Rome restaurant looking out.
Okay.
So the right side was penny candy, soda fountain, and the left side was a liquor store. This is the actual inside of the liquor store. Family, we're all family owned, family operated for years. And this is a picture, I think, in the 50s, same telephone pole, same trash barrel. And this is the liquor store section. The brick part you're seeing here is actually where H&R Block is, and this building is completely gone now.
Okay, so you can really see it there where the bridge is to the left, and then there's that white building, which is Jimmy's, and then the brick building, which is still there today.
Correct. So it was two storefronts, huge window displays with the awnings. And then when we bought it in 78, obviously, unfortunately, the soda fountain went away, and we switched over totally to liquor. It was a beautiful marble soda fountain, I think the last in town, but it's all gone. And you can see in this picture, this is the current location, looking over the construction. There's the Rome restaurant to the right, and you're seeing that brick building and where our building used to be.
So we can see where the lighter bricks on the bottom, it was right
against there.
Front
It's
of
two
that.
separate buildings. It had a great history. Some say it was a produce stand years and years before that. Had multi-layer cellar. It was interesting growing up in the basement as a kid. Different things were beside the train going by every day. But it was a very interesting location, very historic in the town. This is another picture of the current
so that's where that
spot.
is now.
You could see where the center is. And here's our current location. In 86, we rebuilt, moved down East Central Street, right across from the old Fico's bowling alley. And this was it. I'm sorry, I forgot what train.
So now you can want to backtrack and
This
say,
is the
want to backtrack
only...
a little bit and say this is our
sure.
current?
Yeah.
Because then I'll interject for something.
Yeah, I had nothing really else to offer on
So
that
you
one.
say, and here's, see, that's where I'm like, what can I interject? So start off with, and here we are in our current location.
Correct.
Okay, so you say that.
Okay. Here we are in our current location. We built in 1986. Our upstairs is our wine tasting room, and downstairs is the liquor store. And the only thing we brought from the old store is this historic. This was what the cooler was actually made out of. I believe in the 50s, the prior owner of the liquor store was actually shot inside this cooler. It was like a manhunt back. It was very historic in Franklin at the time.
How does that make you feel?
Well, it's a piece of history. It's the only,
awesome.
unfortunately, it's the only thing we saved of the prior building. I wish I had the marble fountain in my basement, but
Yeah.
we saved this. So when you come in and you see this big thing, you're like, why the heck is this huge piece of door here? It's because that's the only thing we saved from.
It's where Franklin
prior.
Liquors came from.
Correct. It's the part of history.
That's awesome.
So we keep that part.
Nice.
And this is just inside our wine, showing what the inside looks like. And then we talked about the industry. You're always supporting small business. I don't know if you want to lead. I'm sorry, you want to lead
backtrack.
into.
Yep,
I'm
nope.
just going to talk about.
So backtrack a little bit. All right, so
I
you
want to
the
talk about
wine.
how the industry is different from other businesses as far as liquor, and
Okay.
scroll through all that quick.
All right. So maybe we can lead in with this and say, I'm thinking.
It's different retail.
So you clearly have a huge selection of wines on site. Are there enough people to drink all that wine?
That's the very interesting thing about the liquor industry. Interesting and bad and good. We can only sell to population 21 and above. Of that population, only a very small percentage drink. And of that drinking percentage, people, it might be one time a year, 2 times a year. So in the state, people don't understand how the process works of how we buy or how you buy from me. It's a 3-tier system. Why does that matter today? In the state of Massachusetts, towns regulate licenses based on population. So they control how many licenses are given out based on the growth of the town. And there's different types of license. There's beer and wine, there's full liquor, and there's in-house, what they call for restaurants and bars.
Okay.
So you have to buy from a store, and over the years, the state is increasing the number of licenses that and corporations can have.
So speaking to are there enough people to drink this much wine?
Correct.
There is that finite pool, and as towns and cities grow, there's still that finite pool of customers, yet the licenses are
Correct.
being distributed a bit more, so it dilutes that a bit for a small business. So how does Franklin Liquors, what does that look like for you, and how do you differentiate yourself?
We have to adapt to doing more to see value in the small business in the liquor industry. The way we've been doing that, well, first we were talking about
All the wine
all
that's
the
out
wine,
there.
not only all the wines, but the knowledge of that. They say when you walk into a store, there's 5 corporations that sell 80 to 85% of the wine you see on the shelf. So the difference is big corporations versus the little guy, the family-owned wineries or products. This would be the difference when you're talking one of those big corporations. This would be a winery to a big corporation.
So Mark has shown me this picture before we met, and so that's wine that goes
That's
through
correct.
all
That's
of that.
wine, silos of wine. Big,
So when we think of a winery, a lot of people go to California and they do a winery tour, and they go from villa and chateau up in a limo or a tour bus, and we see these boutique wines being made. But in reality, that's a fraction of what's out there. What
Correct.
a lot of the big
Yes.
brands are actually facilities, like manufacturing
Big
facilities,
corporations.
where there's vats and distribution, and it's filling 80% of what's
80
on
to
the shelves.
85% of what you see when you purchase is
Interesting.
backed by a big corporation,
Okay.
which is what you're seeing there. And then you always you joke with me about what we do different. And one of the things we focus on is education, be it spirits, beer, wine, to separate and give people the knowledge of this is a corporation wine, this is a small production wine, this is the story behind the wine. Being family owned, we like to support family businesses as well. So we have the choice of where we give our money, and we hope people will make the same choice.
And coming into Franklin Liquors or your local independently owned liquor store or wine shop, you're going to get the story behind the wine.
Correct.
So everyone likes the type of wine that they like, regardless of where it came from. But at the same time, understanding what goes into that and how it's produced, and maybe finding a new wine that you might enjoy based on the criteria for what you've enjoyed in the past. So you know all about that.
Well, I try. The more I feel you can learn about a region or a grape, or the more you helps people pick what they're looking for. If you come to me and you're looking for a certain style, a certain profile, if I know it's from this country, is going to suit what you want, you need to be educated on that. Think of it like you won't bring your car to be fixed to someone who doesn't know how to fix a car. It's very similar in this industry, and we're very lucky enough to do different certifications through different societies. This is where you always pick on me. But it is. I mean, if you think back in history, kings and queens had what they called cupbearers, where they would taste the product for you. So I'm tasting the product for you to make sure it's the quality I feel I am confident enough to sell to you. So there is a lot to it. Part of the whole education thing was we developed our wine room, and this started about 10 years ago. My brother had the idea of normally a wine tasting, you go in the store and they're just handing you stuff out. You try it. We wanted to separate, sit down, actually meet the wineries, the vineyard owners, the distributors who are selling it, see who's behind the label, and in an informal sit-down type of room. So we did this about 10 years ago. It originally was a little small section, and then we opened it up because it was so popular. Here's more of the space and the setting. This is going into education with the school.
So you do additional education through continuing education. So public schools, lifelong learning, you do a class in wine tasting, correct?
Yes, we started
wines.
with the whole initial idea of working with the adult ed or continuing ed programs was to base it on educating about wine. Then over the years, there's been more of need for give me something else with the wine tasting. So we come up with different themes, maybe something that's popular today on the market. And we worked, and we started with Franklin. It's probably been 8-9 years. Then we moved to partner with Tri-County, which, we get a huge different population because Tri-County covers multiple towns. Then we moved to educate with Medway. So we're multi-town education. Also partner with some friends who do Norfolk and other towns as well.
And that helps you broaden that reach to reach additional
Correct.
populations of people who are going to buy your product and appreciate that specific information.
It's education to let people know here's what's out there. Here's learn it, learn where you can put your money, learn the whole process.
And I love that you do it in an informal setting. So when you're there, I've had the opportunity to go to a wine tasting, as I said, and it was fun. It was relaxed. It's go with friends, very easy. And I know that you've partnered with a few other local businesses, Moonlight Chef, Sugar Shop, and Vanitas, I think you partnered with as well. And so I love to see that collaboration because it expands that network. So not only are you reaching out to your traditional customers or people who may know you, but that expands that network to a whole new population of people. I think you did one was a fudge tasting.
Fudge tasting, yes.
So thinking outside the box.
You have to,
in a relaxed and fun place.
Correct. As a small business, you have to nowadays, with the challenges of the expansion of where you can buy product, there has to be something more as a small business owner to do in the education and the tasting and the partnerships, not only to help people understand product, but to get people to know we're here. A lot of people come to the wine room for a tasting, they sign up to a school and never knew we were even in business. So it helps us promote not only the business but the product.
And the wine club is a little bit different in that it's a population of people who actually subscribe to supporting Franklin Liquors, and there's a newsletter.
It's all new. It's actually a meetup club, which was very, very new to me. We started it about 3 years ago. The idea was to reach different customer level. Not our normal customers or regular customers knew of tastings. The people in the school systems knew of the adult ed classes. But we reached out through Meetup, and we have currently 300 or 400 members in 3 years. We've almost hit 50 events in the same format, but reaching out to people who just want to learn and meet people and talk about wine. So very, very informal. We call ourselves the Wine Explorers.
And it goes to show how when you're a small business owner, when you're an independently owned business, you need to be the person. So you know wine. We've made that clear. But you also have to know marketing, technology. You have to reach out and find all new ways to meet your audience and have that many hat role where you need to know a lot more, whereas in a corporate environment, someone else is doing that for you. So you can focus on serving a customer, whereas you do everything. You're behind the counter, you're educating, you're doing the bookwork, you're doing the marketing, you're finding new ways to get out there.
Yeah,
so,
small businesses.
So talking about technology.
This was something, our wine club, we connected with a company in Canada who was funded by Canada to develop a wine tasting app. Okay. We were the first in the United States to use this app and partner with these people in Canada. So it was very, great for our club. And it was some new technology that was introduced to the States that is really taken off. Mm-hmm. And we're proud to say we were the first to pick it up and still support it. Mm-hmm. That led to being an educator, another thing you can joke to me about, but being the first in the United States to be an educator in the system. So it was very important to me.
Mm-hmm. And is that okay, so is that the...
This is the function.
It connects at the store. There's a kiosk. And you can actually go in there and read up on everything and learn about
products,
the different wines.
Correct.
So if you wanted to, maybe just kind of explore on your own for a little bit and just educate yourself on something. You have all that information right there, and you can go pick up the bottle of wine and bring it over.
Pick it up, scan, tell you about it.
And look at it or ask about it.
Right. And mostly in our setting, it's all personal notes. So hopefully you don't need to use the machine. If I'm not there, which is very rare,
you're always there.
You have another way of shopping. A lot of people don't like to be bothered when they shop. So if they want to just scan and get a quick blurb about it, you can do that. Mm-hmm. We were talking about local partnerships, food and wine events. We partnered with the Moonlight Chef, who's a local Franklin chef, personal chef, and we've just recently started doing cheese and wine and dishes with food and wine. Mm-hmm. And we talked about other local partners. We love partnering with other local businesses, the Franklin Art Center for art and wine, the La Cantina Winery, local winery. So we've done events with Bob and his wife. And the yoga, we just recently ventured out into yoga and wine.
It was sold out. I could not go. I reached out to Betsy Barry, owner of Franklin Yoga and Wellness, and I said, I'd love to go. She goes, well, too bad.
Yeah, it was all new to me. I personally can't do that, but I can. It was
anybody can do
matching up chakras with wine, and it was, I think, very probably one of the first type of events to be done like that, to partner that way. So very exciting for us. The Sugar Shop, we do fudge and wine, truffles and wine through the school systems and on our own partnering up. It's been a great partnership with Courtney on this. And you talked about Vinitas Wine Works, my friend Kim from Norfolk. So she holds her Norfolk classes, and we team up for food and wine events and other educational events.
And so that really goes to show just that whole notion of community and building that business network and reaching out to other people who may be an atypical partnership, who would think yoga and chakra balancing with wine, or fudge and wine.
Fudge and wine.
So
it's helping other businesses to draw attention to the other people in our area.
That's what, you and I have talked at length. That's what Shop Franklin really is about, is not just going and spending your money locally, but it's about really connecting people and building those relationships in that community where you have that loyalty, and that builds on the broader scale, that you feel connected, you feel a sense of responsibility to those around you. And this is a great example of it.
It's great supporting each other. And
you've been supporting this notion in Shop Franklin since day one.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
See the logo there, and I've been very
We put the logo on our screen. Mm-hmm. We do. We also have a dispenser in the store. If you ever want to try things we think are tasting real good right now, we put it in the dispenser. You come in and you tap it yourself. You must be 21. You just made it. And you talked about the in-store kiosk. This is the idea. It scrolls through products. You can bring up recipes.
Oh, wow.
A lot of times, excuse me, a lot of times people come in, excuse me, ask for how to make a drink. Mm-hmm. And I there's some weird drinks out there. So we go in the system, you can search it, tells you the ingredients, and you can email it to yourself. So you have it on your phone, you can shop for the ingredients. It also has what we have our staff picks for. So my nephew put in his beer, my brother put in the liquor he recommends. I'll put in the wines, upcoming events, and then you can put yourself on our mailing list. So it's interactive. It's
So this is really neat. So if someone's coming in and they're going to a party, so for example, Cinco de Mayo just passed. If they were doing something for Cinco de Mayo, or with the holidays coming up with something festive for the holiday, they could actually come in and say, oh, I want to bring someone to this party. Maybe, a margarita. What do I need for a margarita?
And it gives you various options.
If they can't ask you right there, they can go there. Or if they went to a bar and they had some crazy drink that they'd never heard of before. I vaguely remember having something called, all right, I don't remember, but that doesn't mean I drank a lot of them.
Yeah.
It just means I don't remember. But they can come in and type in the name as they remember it and see how it was made and make it at home.
Correct. Plus, you can find products. A lot of times people come with products I might have never heard of, and I look in here and say, okay, well, now I know what it is. There's so many things out there. So it's always good to find things that we don't have and how you're seeing it and what the actual product is.
It was a woohoo. Whatever it was called a woohoo. I have no idea what that was. No, it was bloody awful. But it was a long, long time ago.
This is our in-store display, which we advertise local businesses. ShopFranklin is on there.
Thank you.
And it just scrolls through and advertises for small Franklin and small businesses. Just another technology we try to do to incorporate into the business. And this is something I'm really proud of. We are probably one of the only stores within miles of Boston that recycles corks. We always say we want your cork. People, when you're done with your wine, your cork, don't throw it away. Bring it to us. We put it in bins and we ship it to a recycling plant. And they make interesting things: sunglass frames, sandals.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So,
Floors.
But it's all recyclable, and we have this both in the store and in our wine room, so we recycle everything.
So save your corks and send them to Mark.
Yes. I'll take them. We're on all social media. This is the whole idea behind the Shop Franklin. You have to be on social media. We do everything. I put a ton of stuff out there. It's worked well for us. We do have newsletters. We have a few different formats of newsletter. There's a daily wine newsletter you can get from us, and a weekly industry newsletter. Instead of sending out well, here's the special. It's kind of a combination of everything. This is what's in the news this week. This is what's going on this week education-wise, and here it is in one big spiel. It's pretty big. People have, you'd be, making jokes to me about it, but it has a lot of information. Comprehensive, geeky. It has a lot of information.
Comprehensive.
But if you want to get on it, we have all sorts of technology ways you can sign up for it, and we'll be in there on Saturday mornings on your inbox. We also teamed up with another. Apps are popular. You can find out products on an app where you can actually see what's in stock for inventory if you want a gift, and you can order it right on your phone. That's a new technology. And then our Shop Franklin logo we're proud of. And we have been honored to have won a few awards within the Reader's Choice Awards the last 2 years in a row. We're lucky enough to be voted not only in Franklin but in 15 towns. So that was a lot of family pride for us to know at least we're doing something right that people know.
You know everything about wine.
No, yeah. You keep saying that, but that's why I keep saying things, because you never stop learning.
And new things are coming out all
every
the
day.
time.
New techniques, new regions. More importantly, is people are being bought out. The smaller guys are being bought out by the bigger guys, and you want to know what's going on. People might think, you're drinking this moo or whatever, and you think it's made by this corporation. It changes, so your taste might change. So,
okay. Mark, thank you so much for all that information. Obviously, you are finding ways to differentiate yourself with technology, partnerships, selection. So I understand we have a demonstration where you are going to help me understand when I walk into a store, how do I choose a good bottle of wine?
Yes.
All right, so let's go find out.
Great.
So here we are with Mark Lenzi of Franklin Liquors, and he's going to help us pick out a wine that we're looking for today. So Mark, if I walk in and I'm looking for a Pinot, I've got an occasion coming up and I want a Pinot, what's something I should be doing when I walk in?
First off, we need to know white Pinot Grigio or red Pinot Noir.
Okay, so they're both Pinot.
Pinot. They're
This is a big point
Pinot
of-
in the grape name, but they're totally different products.
Okay.
So
So
you
a
like
Grigio is a
Pinot?
white, and a Pinot Noir is a red.
Correct.
All right. Let's go with, what would you recommend? Have a special occasion coming up, or?
Special occasion, you always tell me you're pretty new to the wine scene. I would recommend starting with Pinot Noir.
Okay.
Very light grape. It's a good starter for people starting out in wine. It's a good entertainment wine. The next problem is there's all of these you see are Pinot Noir. There's whites, there's reds, there's sparkling. They're from all different types of parts of the world.
See, this is why I need Mark to help me, because my bunco girls are holding out. Yes, I play bunco. Don't tell anyone. So, Mark, if I'm looking for a Pinot Noir, something, just like you said, a red, where should I start? Because even amongst this grouping, there's still a lot.
Then we're talking size. Are you entertaining a huge amount of people? Do you want something economical in a box? Do you want something double-sized bottle?
I'm going to be coming, and I know a lot of other people are bringing wine. So let's go with the standard size bottle.
Standard
and
size.
it will be probably all drank that night. So I know boxes tend to last longer because they have some sort of dispensary so that if you drink something over time, is that right?
Correct.
A box is
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
choice if you have a glass
And
of wine a night.
You're bringing it someplace, so let's do something special, something different,
Okay.
which I love to recommend things like that. So let's go towards now a sparkling. I would recommend a sparkling wine, French, not champagne, but it's called a Cremant, from southern France. Cremant.
Because true champagne is from
From
Champagne.
You don't say it's champagne if it's not from Champagne. They get
Okay.
very insulted by that.
Don't
It's a
insult the
Cremant.
people of Champagne. So this is
Right.
a Cremant. and
Cremant,
is
made
that
the
from
same way.
region of Cremant?
It's from the Languedoc region, southern France.
Okay.
Made the same way as Champagne, same method, has Pinot Noir in it. The interesting about it has a great story. These people in the Languedoc region actually invented the process before the Champagne region.
Really?
So Dom Perignon visited this region, took the idea back to Champagne, and then 150 years later, the Champagne region made it after these people.
So
The
Champagne
monks
is
of-
like the Alexander Graham Bell of
Correct.
sparkling.
Little known story there, but Dom Perignon didn't invent it. He kind of saw it and brought it to Champagne
Good to
from
know.
these people in Saint Hilaire, Languedoc region.
So my friends will be impressed.
They will love this. And I'm going to show you how to open it so you can entertain them with that as well.
So I don't traumatize them by shooting them in the face with a cork.
Correct. We'll show you how to avoid all that.
Now, contrary to what we typically say, try this at home. So,
First off, the pressure in here is approximately 2 to 3 times the pressure in your car tire. So you want to be careful. You don't want to be pointing it at people. Point it away. You want to remove the foil. Always very fancy. And then you'll notice this little cage on the top. And here's another piece of bar trivia. When you uncork the cage, it's actually 6 turns.
specifically 6.
Always 6 turns. It's a trivia question. Leave the cage on it. Grab a towel.
Okay.
All right? Put the towel over the cage and the cork. Do not twist the cork. Twist the bottle. Hold at 45 degrees away from everybody. Twist the bottle, and there you go.
Look at that.
All right?
Mark, thank you so much for coming on Shop Franklin, supporting small business and teaching us about the history of Franklin liquors and also how to select a wine and open a bottle of champagne without injuring our guests, which is key. So, and thank you for all your support of Shop Franklin.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for watching Shop Franklin, supporting small business. I'm Sarah Mavardi. Cheers.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.